Ladies and gentlemen, Rex Bear League Project, how the heck are you? We've got Neil Beckham with us. Now, this guy is an incredible musician. He is a part of a hip-hop band called Collected Methods. An album is just released, and he's actually going to be giving some out to League Project listeners. I'm getting one in the mail here shortly. But what's really neat is he goes deep into – hold on a second. I have to hit the pause button here. We're going to get an echo. Oh, that's good to see that. All right, it's nice to see a commercial come up on the channel here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to support our sponsors. But I just had to hit the pause button there, otherwise we get an echo. But what's really neat is Neil lives out there in the United Kingdom. He's about an hour away from London, so he brings a different perspective in a lot of these fringe alternative topics that we discuss here on the League Project. And he reached out to me, I would say the first time about a year ago, right, Neil?
Yeah, just over a year. I've been watching your channel for like 2 years. I spoke to you about a year and a half ago, yeah.
Okay, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And you kind of told me a little bit about some of the fascinating experiences that you've had in your life. And you're kind of, what some people might call a targeted individual, TI. And, you've seen some incredible anomalies in the sky. You're going to talk about your ET experiences, about your near-death experience that you had, and the spirit that maybe could be your guardian angel. But I would really like it if you would, for the audience here, please tell all of us a little bit about yourself and why you are where you are currently. And I'm looking at the chat section. They're saying we're having some technical difficulties, so that's why I had to pause there for a moment.
Okay, not a problem. I've been doing music since about 98. And I've always been talking about the sort of things that I see on your channel that you speak about, the rich, the elite, the chemtrails, everything, the geoengineering they now call it, whereas before it was called nothing. They just denied it. I've been doing music since, like I say, 98. I used to do music on Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday nights in London, drive up there, do my music. I weren't drinking. I stopped drinking in the 90s. I didn't drink alcohol till like 2012. It was one of my sister's birthdays. I had a drink for that, so I don't really drink. Music's been part of me because it's a spiritual thing, really. I've never really earned money off it. I always put music out for free because it's more about the music message that I put in my lyrics, I grew up listening to a bit of Bob Marley, which is quite spiritual. I've never read the Bible, but I believe in good and evil. I sort of believe in the God and the devil, but I wouldn't say from any like Bible or religion, I wouldn't go with none of them. That's just my personal opinion. I've got no grudges with anybody who's got their own beliefs. But me myself, I do believe there's something more after we pass away, which is a good sign for everyone. Death's a pretty scary thing for a lot of people. I feared it for a long, long time, but one of your colleagues actually has changed a lot of the way I think. Heidi Vandenberg done me a reading recently that changed a lot of the way I'm thinking, which was brilliant. But yeah, the music, like I say, I've always tried to put a message in the music to try and enlighten people and open eyes and open minds, free thinking.
Yeah, right on, man. That's awesome. And Heidi Vandenberg, channel 27 on here on YouTube. She's also one of a kind by Heidi.org. That's her website. If you guys are new to the show, you haven't seen her before. She does some very detailed star analysis charts. It's Vedic astrology, and it's spooky how accurate it. But one thing that I find fascinating about you, Neil, is I have seen you perform. You really get into the music. You're very passionate. You believe in what you do. And to be in the UK and be as open-minded as you are in certain subjects, and kind of out of all of these boxes that it seems to me certain places will find a way from birth to to put you in. So to think inside of the box, not to think outside of the box. So what was it for you that really took you into this, I guess you could say, fringe reality where you see things that most people don't see, the illusions that are presented? Oftentimes you'll see through the deceit of that as well.
I've sort of said it in my music throughout my whole music career, but I didn't realise I'd been saying it myself until recently, like a few years back when I was researching Max Spears. And then I started researching other stuff. I looked into Alex Jones. I watched a lot of Alex Jones for a while. And I did a song for their competition once, and he played one of my tracks on his channel, so that was pretty cool. Being on InfoWars, I was pretty lucky to get that. That was a track about Hillary Clinton at the time, but it was cool. It was cool. It was a joke. They was doing jokes. I thought I'll send something in, and they played it, so that was good. But yeah, so then I come across your channel as well. I've looked into a bit of David Icke. I've done a lot of research myself for a couple of years, but in fairness to you, Rex, a lot of people probably like me that don't have as much time to research can come to you, and you've done it all for me. So sometimes now I'll come to you rather than going and researching hundreds of different channels and get my information, because I know you're really open-minded. I mean, I've seen you say to people, you'll give anyone an open platform, you know, to speak their mind. Whether you agree with it or not is a different matter, but you give people an opportunity to speak their mind, and I think that's brilliant. And I think that's like, you're the same as me, open-minded, willing to listen, willing to give people a chance, and I think that's brilliant. And I think most of the fans would probably agree with me that you don't get as much praise as you probably deserve, to be fair, and you don't give yourself enough credit for what you do, because you must do a lot of work, Rex, because I see a lot of your video. I have trouble even watching all your videos, Rex, let alone keeping up with all the research you must do behind closed doors. So everyone must really appreciate you.
I paid him to say all that stuff, folks. So thanks. I'll the checks in the mail, Neil. No, man, really, really
most of them will know that's true. That's true, Rex. You do a lot of work for a lot of people.
Well, you know, and I appreciate that, Neil, and so do you, man. So do you. Every time you come out with an album and, you know, you put these lyrics and this time into these tracks, and then people listen to it, and a lot of times music will go to the subconscious level. So that's one thing about artists out there that aren't connected to a huge label. And, you know, it's most of the people that listen to music around the world are connected to some type of listening to music that the big, you know, that the powers that be want you to listen to. And why do you think so? Yeah, exactly. And why do you think so many people that reach the age of 27, especially in the entertainment industry, when they start getting really good, how come they tend to have mysterious deaths? Is it all just the Saturn orbit of 29 and a half years, or is there something more to it sometimes? I mean, I don't know.
But the thing with, like, people get offered to sell their soul to the devil, yeah? The reason I know I've never been offered to sell my soul to the devil is because he already knows my answer. So why would he offer me a deal I'm not ever going to take? Doesn't matter what he offers me. You could offer me £1 million. I'd rather 100 people hear my music and my message than the £1 million. Money don't go anywhere with me, but my consciousness will always be there. So as long as I'm living right by what I believe is right, then hopefully I can open minds and help more people along the way. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know, let's go back to your first experience that you can remember that was, you know, like a spiritual experience. You said when you were 5, you almost died.
When I was younger, I had a blood clot inside me. And obviously, if a blood clot hits your heart, it can kill you. And so I'm in hospital with a blood clot. And back then, the hospitals obviously weren't that great. I'm getting on a bit now, Rex, you know. But so I'm in hospital, and I wake up from a dream and say to my mum, I'm going to live, I'm going to live. Nanny Grace has just come and told me I'm going to survive with this blood clot. And then, how can I put it? The blood clot come out, it ain't natural to come out that way, but if you drink a lot of water, it's going to come out. The water's going to come out that way. If you understand what I mean, you go to the toilet and relieve yourself, and the blood clot come through that way. Okay, so I sort of weeded it out. Okay, I didn't want to swear, so I weeded it out. Okay, and it messed up all my system down below for a while. So I was in hospital for a lot of time, having a lot of operations, going in and out of hospital with that. But when I woke up and told my mum, my nanny Grace had told me I was going to survive, my mum found out later on that night that my nanny Grace had passed away at that time of my dream. So I sort of believe she was looking over me, or she sort of, I don't know if she sacrificed herself for me in like a, you know, not sacrifice, but I don't know, but I feel like she saved my life, if that makes sense. That's so ever since a young age, I've always felt lucky, and I felt like there is spirits. I might not be able to see them, but I know they're there because of what happened, if that makes sense. Because otherwise I might not be here.
Yeah, That's fascinating. Now,
Sorry, I'll speak a
what,
little bit quick when I'm nervous, and I'm a bit
no,
nervous.
no,
So
you're
yeah,
fine, man.
I was probably speaking a little bit quick.
You to that experience, and so you think it was your grandma then that was communicating with you?
Well, she wasn't actually my relative. It's my mum's sister's husband. It was his mother, but they're really spiritual and they're really into the Bible. They don't believe Christmas is on a certain date. They're a different religion, and it was his mother that I see in this dream that had saved my life, and so yeah, I think it was his mother that saved me. So she weren't a relation of mine, but she was highly religious, and so he's always been highly religious. He's got cancer right now, so we're going to probably lose him, but that's that's another thing. But yeah, I do
Okay.
believe it was a spiritual occurrence. Yeah.
And that was connected with your NDE,
My what? Sorry.
your near death experience,
Yeah,
NDE.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Now, and have you had similar dreams since then?
I've had a lot of strange dreams that have come true. Yeah.
So how do you know when you're actually having a dream that is more of a, seeing a glimpse into the future, I guess? Is there like, can you feel it when you're having that dream?
Um, I don't know, because I've had some really weird spiritual dreams of one of my friends who passed away as well a long time ago, and I think he's trying to guide me as well in a lot of ways. Looks out for me, and yeah.
Tell us about these, some of these experiences you've had with UFOs.
I've had a lot of experiences with them, but I'll tell you one main one. Otherwise, we'll be here for a while. So I'll just tell you the one main one. I was just outside my town. My little town's called Banbury. It's only a small little place, and we was just outside, maybe 10 miles away, out in the country in the sticks, and was at my friend's mum's house. So me and my girlfriend at the time and her brother was driving back to Banbury, and it was night time, about 11 o'clock. I don't drink really, Rex. I've probably been drunk 3 times in 20 years. I really don't drink, right? So I weren't drunk or nothing. Plus I was driving. I weren't on no mushrooms or nothing like that. We'd been to my friend and my girlfriend's mum's house. So we're driving home, and a thick fog come out of nowhere, a real thick fog. I've never seen fog like it. It was more like smoke, but it was fog, but it was just really dense. So I'd slowed right down to about 5 mile an hour. I couldn't drive. It was really dense, thick fog. And then my girlfriend, who was sat in the back, screamed out, "The moon's going to crash into the world," right? And it was quite scary that she screamed it. I just thought, where's this coming from? And then I looked out to the left, and there was a whole field lit up. And there was like a huge, what I'd call an ice cream shape going up. And then at the top was like a big light with shadows in it. And there was a light at the bottom that was like just off the ground. But this was like maybe like a 20-story building high, triangular, like an ice cream shape. That's all I can describe it as. But it was black with like a lit bottom and a lit top. And so we all panicked. We was all really scared. It was really scary. I thought she just thought the moon was crashing into the world. So she was screaming. My mate was scared and I was scared. So I tried to get away. And this thing was lighting up this little area. So I sort of tried to get out of there, started going through the fog, come out the fog pretty quick. And then I said to my friend, "I'm going to turn around and go back." And he said, Why would you go back?" I said, "I could only go 70 miles an hour. That thing, whatever it is, can do more than 70 mile an hour. If that wants to catch me, it's going to. So I'm going to go back and see what it was, because that ain't just going to scare me. I want to see. This is intriguing me now. It scared me at first, but I want to see what it is." So we turn around at the nearest roundabout, go back out there. There's no fog. There's nothing, Rex. It's just a dark field. Then when we get back to Banbury, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but this is like 10 miles away. There's no way we could have took that amount of time. It's impossible that we could have left there at like 11 o'clock and got here back in Banbury at 3 in the morning from Morton Pinckney. It's not that far away.
Okay, so there's 4 hours of time that
Yeah.
just you don't know what happened, and you're saying how long would that normally take?
I could drive now to Morton Pinckney in the dark about 20 minutes tops.
So what should take 20 minutes took 4 hours.
Yeah. But remember, I've turned round once, so that's another 20, say 10 minutes at the most. So, but we didn't get out the car, Rex, and we didn't pull over. We see it. We all, you know, not wet our pants, but more or less, I tried to get away from it. Again, slowed down in the fog for a little while, but it was only a patch of time. It wasn't a big thing. It was a few minutes in the fog, and then she's screaming, the moon's going to crash into the world, you know, like, and then I've seen this big ice cream shape thing. It was just the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Now, when you say ice cream shape, what type of ice cream are we talking about, Neil?
You know, like a cornetto.
Rocky
You know,
Road?
like, no, I mean like a cornetto. Sorry,
Sherbet?
you know, like a, yeah, I didn't think about all the different ice cream shapes. I just think of a cornetto straight away. Sorry.
It's an ice cream sandwich.
We call it a 99, but yeah, just a normal ice cream like cornetto shape.
Well, okay, so it looked like an ice cream, like a popsicle.
Like a big, like a triangle. Like a big triangle, but it wasn't quite square at the top. It was like a big triangle.
Did you hear any sounds?
Nothing, apart from my poxy little Metro.
Did you feel any like
Nothing again. No, not that I remember.
And what color were the lights?
Like not, they're like a bright white, but more like a blue tint coming off them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. And then, so you're describe to the audience. Let's engulf the audience in this. And I think you're doing a great job describing this. So I appreciate it. This is exciting. I love hearing stories like this because so many times people try to take what somebody says because it's kind of far out and it doesn't fit their parameters. And, oh, it didn't happen. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, are you on drugs again? Oh, you took too much acid, you know, all this BS because they can't understand it. So you're saying what should have been an hour max, even if you think about the time, you know, turning back, checking everything out, hour max, literally 4 hours is gone. It's 3 a.m. You're with your girlfriend, you're with your friend, and they were like the same thing. They're like, what, did they even act different? Were they just like, oh yeah, okay, talk to you later?
You know what though, Rex? They never spoke about it again to me after that, right? And then we sort of had a bit of a falling out and we didn't really speak for like 20 years. And then we spoke again recently. I haven't spoke to the lad, but I spoke to the girl and she remembers it, but not as well as I do.
So this was 20 years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
And so I guess somebody's saying in the chat, like a cone. It was
a cone, ice cream cone. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, so and the area that you're in, go back in time and, you know, describe the setting. Are there a bunch of fields? Is it a place that you would see crop circles? Is it in a suburban area?
Just suburban. Just a load of fields. Just a load of fields with a couple of roads going through them. Countryside.
Did you have any marks on your body after? Did you have any strange dreams? Did you have any phobias that started after that?
Not that I remember, no. But the best thing is Middleton Cheney, where was the close area to where it happened. I go out there sometimes, and there's a nice little spot I can park and watch things. So I might try and get some footage at some point.
Have there been other people in that area that have had similar experiences? Have you done any research on the web to find out if that area is a hotspot?
I see, you know, your normal saucer shaped UFO that people see, you know, a lot. I watched one of them outside of my window once for about 45 minutes getting chased by planes. And I didn't want to tell anyone because they might think I was crazy or whatever. And I was talking to one of my friends one day about a year later after it happened. And I said to her, I see a UFO once above the Easington pub flying around for about 45 minutes. She went, that was all over Fox FM News. Hundreds of people have been reporting it. So I thought I was probably the only person that see it, but loads of people had reported it on the news. And then there was a video once in Banbury that somebody took of a silver disc shaped UFO around Banbury area. So yeah, it's quite, and like I say, I've been out near Middleton Cheney quite a bit and seen a few different, just silver discs, like, so I've never seen an alien full on. I've just seen UFO is an unidentified flying object.
If you had 4 hours or 3 hours of missing time and you saw a craft like that close to the ground, you're with with two other people, you probably saw them. You probably saw them, and they probably did some type of memory sweep or something like that. Whether or not it was, My Labs or ETs or a combination of both, that's interesting. You really have to ask yourself, where would 3 hours have gone? Why would you have forgotten about that? And why would your friends not say anything about it? And then, why would they not talk about it for 20 years? And you're still not getting them to talk about it.
When we got home that night at like 3 a.m, we was like, it can't be 3 a.m. But like, we all went to bed, and like, it's sort of, I don't know. I think it's, I don't know where the time went, Rex. I can't. It didn't seem like the time paused at any point to me, if that makes sense. It seemed like it was a continuous thing. But the shock sometimes, of things, I don't know.
Well, tell me about some, what was it like the next day, the next week, the next month? Were there strange events that happened after that increased?
My life went downhill big time after that.
How so?
Um, I lost the girl I was with. I had my daughter with, and she told me that it wasn't my daughter. It's a long story, Rex. So my daughter got carted off to Wales, and I got told it wasn't my daughter. And then 13 years later, I found out it is my daughter. And then my daughter hates me because she thinks that I've never wanted to know her, but it was the fact that I didn't know she was mine. It's a long story, Rex, so I won't go too far into that. But yeah.
Oh, and I didn't mean for you to have to say that, man. That must be extremely difficult. I can't even imagine. Wow, that's terrible. And hopefully things will work out. And hopefully she'll want to
I
get to
do
know
a
you
song
someday.
for her on more or less every album I do. I do a song for my daughter Rex, more or less every album I do. She never listens to none of them, but
She will.
yes,
It'll
that's what
happen.
I'm hoping one day.
Wow, man, that's really unfortunate. So you have this night that you could have very well been taken up in that craft. I mean, there's a very good chance that if I'm envisioning things the way that they could have gone down, they could have very well taken you in their craft, done some weird genetics and stuff like that. Now, was she pregnant at the time?
Yeah, Rex. This is what I mean. It's a bit deep, isn't it?
So she's pregnant at the time. You get abducted. I mean, who knows what they did? Maybe something with all of you guys. And I
And
mean, maybe
the thing is, Rex, my daughter got took away from the mum and put into foster care as well. So, and you know what foster cares are like, yeah. So it's just there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
yeah, that's unfortunate. So is she back with her mom now, your ex?
No, she's older now. Yeah, she's 20
Okay.
now. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I didn't mean for you to have to bring all that on the show, man.
Hey, I'm
Wow,
just being
that's
honest, Rex. We're
yeah,
speaking and
sure.
I'm being honest. Whatever comes out, comes out. This is what I mean recently. I just think I'd rather just speak and tell the truth and speak my mind. And if people don't like it, then I don't lose nothing. People don't like me anyway. So it don't matter if I lose anything, Like everyone has haters, don't they? And I know I've got haters. But there are people out there. A lot of people, since like I've done a couple of videos for you and they've been on your channel and the music we done with you and that, and a couple of your subscribers, fans, friends, I don't know what you want to call them, they're really nice people. They are really nice people. They've showed me a lot of support for no reason at all. So the people that watch your channel are good people, Rex. So that's a good thing.
Well, I've met a lot of really nice people that watch the Leak Project, and it's so neat to have an opportunity to meet people like you and others that listen to the program. I mean, you guys are awesome, and I think that let's jump back if we can to some other events that might have been, you know, looking at spiritual or paranormal around that time frame. Do you remember things lead to that that just doesn't seem right? Did 6 months later, any other times of missing time or anything?
The day that my daughter was taken, like when I was told she wasn't mine, right? The lie that was told to me on it was one of my best friend's funerals. It was my daughter's first birthday and one of my best friend's funerals on the same day. And I got told my daughter wasn't mine and they were taking her to Wales. So a lot of things was going on right then, yeah.
No, you also have like these battles, like these spiritual battles, like these possible archon attachments, or you know, the possibility of being a targeted individual at TI. Could you talk to us about that?
Demonic, isn't it? It's demonic spirits. Forcing negative thoughts, negative feelings inside. I can fight it, Rex, because there's always good, but it's just sometimes, you know, life can drag you down, can't it? And you know, recently a lot of things have happened again. My so-called best friend and my so-called girlfriend was doing things they shouldn't have been, smoking things they shouldn't have been, and I'm out there trying to do music and work. I work. I don't do music for money. I work for my money. So I have a job. People see me doing music and they inbox me going, "You should get a job and stop doing music." And I'm like, "I work in the morning. Leave me alone. My music's a part of my lifestyle. It's nothing to do with that. Ain't my work. That's my hobby and my enjoyment and my message, you know." And so my so-called friend and my girlfriend at the time was smoking crack, which they shouldn't be doing, and that was behind my back. I don't touch that stuff. And they had slept together, and so we split up, and that was bringing me down. And the more I research, Rex, the more bad things happen to me. The deeper I started researching and stuff, the more the bad things happened all the time, continuously. And it got to a point where, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, no, I mean, it sounds to me like your life, you've gone through some very interesting scenarios and some very unfortunate scenarios, and it sounds to me like it's made you stronger. It's kind of given you, I guess, the drive to be a musician and to put these incredible lyrics together and to wake people up and such. And I'm just, you know, it sounds like you have a purpose too. It sounds to me like, you know, that the first experience you said when you were a little kid, you got that the blood clot, you could have died. You think that you could have literally been saved
Yeah,
by a spirit that's really close to you, and then you go on to have these ET experiences. So it's like you definitely have a purpose, and you're definitely here for a reason. So I wonder if there are in the UK. I don't know. I've never been there. I've got family that did missionary work out there. My grandma was out there for a few years and did some missionary work and stuff like that. And she said that people out there looked like they were, how does she put it? She said, not all people, but she said there, she would notice a lot of people out there. She probably drink more out there than where she came from, but she lived in Utah. So, I mean, there's not, I mean,
yeah.
it's a different story out there if you live in Salt Lake. Anyway, so talk about that.
What, England in a whole?
Yeah. What's it like out there, man? I mean, how many people are like you in these, you know, researching outside of the box?
Oh, it's hard to find anyone, Rex. It seems like I'm alone a lot of the time, to be fair. Even my closest friends I talk to about things sometimes, and it just flies over their head. It'll fly over their head. And I researched a hell of a lot, so I know a lot of the stuff that I look into is true. And when I speak to them about it, it just flies over their head. They're just conspiracy theories. Don't worry about it, Bex. Just don't worry about it. So I just keep a lot of it to myself. A lot of people in the UK, I think, feel the same as a lot of people around the world right now. It's a lot of depression because the world's in a bit of a mess. They're spraying us with all kinds of stuff. They're feeding us all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff in our drinking water, and it's all about bringing us down, depressing us. The more we hate each other, the more they divide us, the more they conquer us, and that's what it's all about. And the dumber we are, the more we'll fight each other for them.
What do people think about America and Americans out there?
A lot of people are racist, Rex, aren't they, to be fair? So, yeah. But I get it myself. I play the Xbox now and then. I have nephews and nieces, so I play the Xbox now and then. And I get a lot of racist abuse for being English. You know, I just take it on the chin. It don't bother me. But the racist issues are bad. Why is there such a what's the problem? Listen to this, yeah. This is what I've said before to people. If I'm in town and I'm in a fight and someone's from my street, they're gonna back me up, right? But if I go to another town, anyone from my town now is my ally because I'm in a different town. Then I go to a different area in the country and anyone from my area is my ally. Then I go to Germany and anyone from England's my ally. Then I go to America and anyone from Europe's my ally. So the further I go from home, the more allies I get. Do you understand what I mean by that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You always
absolutely.
look for the, like, do you see what I mean? If you was in the UK, you'd look for anyone who was from, you see what I mean? Even if there's a Colombian, you'd think that I can relate to them more, sort of thing. It's weird. But yeah, if something from another planet come here, then me and you are brothers, aren't we? All of a sudden, do you see what I mean? Because we're allies against what there is from somewhere else. Because now we're from this planet instead of that country or that city or that town or that street.
What do people out there what's the mindset on extraterrestrials and what we've been discussing here today with near-death
I
experiences as
think a
well?
lot more open-mindedness about UFOs, definitely. I think the government have sort of put enough like things out there on TV, films, movies and films, same thing. Sorry, uh, everywhere. It's everywhere. They're sort of pushing it a little bit now, Rex, to let a lot of people know because something's going to disclosure's got to happen soon. I think with UFOs, it's got to be close, or they want us to believe that now because they've got this blue beam and you know there's a lot of things going on, Rex, isn't there? That's how do we trust anything when the media lie to us 9 times out of 10? And yet, like if I lied to you now, if I said my name's John Radcliffe, then you find out my name meant John Radcliffe, then you're not going to trust me, right? But the media will lie to these people, and you prove it's a lie, but they'll believe the next lie and the next lie and the next lie. I don't watch telly anymore. I give up with that
You
mainstream
ever,
media and
you done with
done,
I
done,
don't blame you.
done with it. Done with it.
I like to watch the mainstream media just to get the perspective of what they're attempting to force feed the masses. But after even you turn on some of these brain drain media news stations, and literally within 15 seconds, I'm seeing these guys basically reading these scripts on the screen. They've got the green screens behind them with fake images and stuff like that, and they're acting as if they're professionals or experts, and they're not even good actors or actresses. And then you see these events that unfold where it appears that a lot of people look extremely similar when they've got these huge just breaking events that, oh my goodness, there was a mass shooting over there, there was a mass shooting over there, and a lot of these people look very similar. It's like, are these guys crisis actors? Because then when they're up on the mainstream news and they're supposedly just lost a loved one, they act like they're just robotic about it. And
Yeah,
it's one thing to okay, that person didn't cry because they're in shock. I get it. When it happens over and over and over and over again, and they have the same attitude, you start to question things like, well, would you be able to function properly if you lost a loved one and then the news wanted to interview you the next day? Would you be able to just have a conversation like, oh yeah, we used to go to the park once in a while and just so happy, and now I think we need to have gun control.
it takes a couple of days to even sink in, doesn't it? A
I don't
death,
know. I don't want to know.
if there's a death, it seems like if I've ever experienced a death with anyone in my life, it takes a few days before it even sort of sinks in, doesn't it? I wouldn't know what to say, Rex. I'd be lost in the moment. I think wouldn't know what to say. But
we
I know what
shouldn't
you
we
mean by
shouldn't
the
even have to
crisis
question this kind of
actors.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
no, I
know,
know, but
I mean,
yeah, but you can see something that's on the news, and then you see 24 hours later the fake side of it, where do you know what I mean? Somebody's caught it and put it on YouTube. They'll get cut off after a while, but you see the fake side of it, and you know that was fake. So this is what I'm saying. How many times would you let them lie to you before you realise they're liars?
well, people continue to accept the lies that are fed to them on the media. And anyway, it's people need that. I guess they need that false security to function in reality and to continue to be good consumer slaves. So
They're the people who
that's what
troll.
it
They're
is.
the people who get angry at people like me and you for speaking the truth.
What are some now you've talked about some like weird stuff that you feel maybe you had like gang stalking or just weird surveillance and stuff like that out there after you talked about stuff. Could you tell the audience about that?
Um, well, just let's say what are we in now? January. So about 4 months ago, 5 months ago, I was just about to leave Banbury to go to a mobile static caravan. Do you know what a static caravan is? Like a mobile home by the beach,
Oh, okay.
right? It's not one you tow; it's already there. So I was going there for a weekend or a week, I can't remember, but I was going up there, and I was going with a young lady, and we was just taking a drive up there. And as I come outside of Banbury, I'm driving along, and a helicopter nearly crashed into my windscreen, Rex. I'm not even, and there was 4 suited men in it. I didn't even hear the helicopter, Rex. It made no sound, and it nearly hit my windscreen. And again, it was a bit of a spooky moment. Like I don't know where that come from. That was really strange, to be fair. But that
So
was just a
what
couple of
color was
months back. Black,
it? Okay, it was totally silent.
silent, and it was so close to me. It didn't. It was so close. It felt like it was going to hit my windscreen. I thought I was going to crash into a helicopter that had just come from behind a hedge, Rex. And again, you know where it was? Out by Middleton Cheney. It was just as I was leaving Banbury, out by Middleton Cheney. You've only just made me realise that, though.
And that's where you saw the ice cream
Yeah,
cone UFO.
yeah, years ago, yeah. But I've seen other things out there, Rex. I used to go out there now and then because of what happened, and see other things out there.
Well, tell us some more about what you've seen.
I could go on for a long time, Rex.
Reptilian shapeshifters.
Down in Mablethorpe, we used to have a mobile home in a place called Mablethorpe. I went down to Mablethorpe and I went to a place called Inglemoulds, which is about a mile away. I was walking through Inglemoulds and a camera crew come up to me with a microphone and that and saying, "Did you see the UFO out last night?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Do you live round here?" I said, "No." And they said, "Oh, all right, we're going to interview some other people." They went off and interviewed other people. So I told my mum and dad and other people. These people come up to me with a microphone, asked me if I'd seen a UFO. No one believed me, right? My mum and dad didn't believe in UFOs back then. They went up to the mobile home a couple of weeks later, and on the radio up there was a warning: stay in your homes, there's UFOs just off the beach of Mablethorpe. So then my mum and dad started believing what I told them over the years because they heard it on the radio. So yeah, like I
Yeah,
say,
as
there's
long as
been
you
a
hear it on the
few.
radio, then they'll believe you. Yeah, they've
Well,
got to hear.
they did, but yeah, I believe well before that. But you know what I mean. So yeah, there's been a lot of things gone on.
That's awesome. Well, let me ask you before we close out tonight. I mean, what do you think would be important to share with the audience? What are you expressing in your work, and how do people get a hold of you, Neil?
Well, the album we were speaking about earlier, put that to one side because I sifted through around 40 tracks today because I knew we was having this interview tonight, and I picked out 12 tracks that I think everyone who listens to League Project, who are true League Project fans, will like at least 3 tracks because I speak about everything you speak about during the music. So if they want a free copy, 12 tracks, I'm going to just send you it first so you can check it over and make sure you're cool with it, Rex, which I think you will be because some of the tracks you've already heard. And I'm going to do a bit of artwork for it. And if anyone wants it, I'll give it them free. I'll give it them free download. I don't want no money or nothing. I'll do it as just a free, but it will have League Project on the front artwork and then just some track names on the back, just simple. But hopefully that'll put a message out. The message I would put out to people is to make the world a better place, we need to do it together, because doing it individually is hard work. It's a big world. So if we spread the love through a lot of us, spread good energy, fight the negative energy, and just be peaceful and kind. It's easy. When I make people smile, Rex, it makes me smile. If I can help people, you know what I mean? It makes me feel better. So yeah, try and help people and be kind. That's all.
That's awesome. Well, Neil, I got to tell you, if you had an opportunity to read the live chat while we're talking, people are having nothing but good things to say. And it's funny because I've interviewed Trisha before. She's a really good numerologist. And it's amazing what she can decipher just based upon like the numbers that equal up from your birth date and stuff like that, you know, your life path number, etc. But she's like, hey, let Neil know I'm only 7 miles away. So looks like you have a new friend just down the street. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I haven't looked at none of the live chat. I don't know how to do that. So
right on, man. Well, let's, you know, it was definitely great to have you on, Neil. Would like to speak with
Rex,
you again.
it was an honor. It was an honor. Yeah, there's a lot more we can speak about at any time, Rex, but I'll do some more music for you, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I can't wait to get the CD as well. Ladies and gentlemen, check out Neil Beckham. He's on Facebook. He is an incredible musician. He's a hip hop artist. So Collected Methods. Be excellent to each other, ladies and gentlemen. And also make sure to support our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, Virtual Shield right now is offering an amazing deal. Yeah, check out Neil's hat. Isn't that awesome? Hello. That is actually a batch. JD Signs, this really awesome custom graphics and vinyl designer out there in the UK, sent me this original hat here. And he said, hey, look, I'm going to do a limited run of Leak Project hats for you. This material is actually like some type of protective material. I need to get more research on it. But it did replace, for now, I do have a tinfoil duct tape hat, which is really nice. I really enjoy this hat. This is literally, as you can see, tinfoil and duct tape. But if you guys want to get one of these hats, these are going to be coming up here pretty soon. I should be getting them in the next couple of weeks. Neil's got one. That's awesome that you're sporting it. And I want to say thank you very much to JD Signs. But also, you guys definitely make sure to support our sponsors. You need to look at virtualshield.com/Leak Project right now. They're offering specials for Leak Project listeners. If you want to keep your information safe from big data spies, if you want to keep your information anonymous when you surf the web, go to virtualshield.com/Leak Project. A 30-day free trial. You can even turn off your webcam and your microphone from voyeuring ears and eyes that might be there listening and watching you, and you won't even know it. How many people out there listening to this right now have something that you put over your webcam? Whether you think somebody's watching or not, you probably do. I'll bet you there is a large percentage of people that are listening to this podcast right now that do that. I used to do that. Absolutely. Put a little patch over your webcam.
Just wondering, like, they're all sellotaped.
I mean, do they got gremlins that are like, oh, okay, let's see what that guy's doing. Let's see what they're doing today. They have no idea we're watching them through the webcam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, be excellent to each other. Be reptilian shapeshifters, and go to virtualshield.com/Leak Project.